Resolving your conflicts. Greetings, friends. We saw in our last podcast that the challenge in most marriages is not the lack of communication, but rather ineffective communication. You know, that communication that does not increase intimacy. So the point was that when we communicate, we not just communicate to share facts or to prove that we are right. We want to increase intimacy. We want to strengthen our relationship. But today I want us to focus on resolving conflict. Here I would like to maintain also that conflicts, it's not the conflict that destroy relationship, but it is inability to solve conflicts. In other words, you don't say our relationship is what it is because we had conflict. No. Conflicts will always be there as long as there are two people. In fact, even if there's one person, you can have conflict with yourself. But on a serious note, conflicts when there are two people, whether they are brothers and sisters, it doesn't matter whether it's twins, there'll always be conflict. So the issue is not conflicts. Families have conflicts. The issue is not conflict. They don't separate because of conflicts. It is because they have no skill to solve. They are unable. They do not have the ability to solve the conflict. Recurring problems could be a sign that you either don't have the skill or the interest, or both. You don't have the skill, you don't have the interest. If you have the interest but don't have the skill, then you look for counsel. But if you do have the skill but you have no interest, then there's a problem. Problem with the relationship. And we have to start thinking differently. So what we are saying in conflict resolution, we are not encouraging couples or friends or people in a relationship to avoid conflict. We are not aiming for a conflictless relationship, but we are saying learn to solve your conflicts. I know conflicts can be draining. It's not nice. You know, those conflicts, you just wish, oh Lord, here it comes again. You know it's going to take so much from you. And you do everything. You can even pay someone to say, let's avoid this. Let's run away from this. Let's not have this thing because it is such a painful, it just brings so much discomfort. But remember, if conflict is not attended, it's festers, it becomes like cancer, and it can destroy your relationship, it can destroy your marriage. As much as you don't look forward to conflict, when it is there, then it is an opportunity for you to grow in that relationship. Because if it's managed well, if you solved it, it even brings you closer. As you remember when we spoke about communicating to increase intimacy. So what are we saying? How do we then solve conflicts? What skills do you want? What attitude must we have to solve conflict? Let me give you 7 or 8 will just be a bonus. Number 1, you've got to be willing to solve your conflicts. And willingness shows how much you value your relationship. How you if you don't take your partner seriously, then you will not be interested in solving the problem. I mean, I don't go around solving problems with strangers I meet. If there's a conflict with a stranger, I just leave or say whatever. There's no relationship. But when you have a relationship and you take that relationship seriously, then that should actually increase or affect your willingness, your attitude to solve conflict. So the first thing is your attitude. It's not even the skill. It's willingness to solve your problem. Willingness to put time aside and engage in solving the problem. Secondly, remember when you get on with your conflict resolution, the aim should not be to win. This is not a match. This is not a rugby or cricket where you want to win, where you want to prove the other party wrong. This is not a court environment. This is a home. This is a place where we have a relationship. So the aim, as you know, is for both of us to win. But what that means is for our relationship to win. that we should be better people after this, that our relationship should be stronger after this, that our intimacy would have been increased because of this. So remember, if you want to prove that you are right and the other person is wrong, that does not solve the conflict. Number 3, make sure that you're in a good space. Conflict is sometimes very emotional, but you can solve it. You can only solve it rationally, even though it has emotional effect. But you must solve it. The approach must be rational. But if you're highly emotional, it's very difficult for you to be rational. So you need to reduce the emotions and engage the reasoning. Once you do that, then you stand a good chance in solving your conflict. Conflict produces anger. It produces frustration. So it's important for you to deal with the emotions before you can try to reason out. And maybe you could say, how then do I deal with emotions? Take time off. Don't engage while you are emotional. Don't try to solve the problem while you are very angry or very frustrated. Admit to your partner that what has happened has made me very angry. So I wouldn't want us to talk about it now. Let's talk about this thing later. Set a time where you would want to solve this. Don't try to deal with it now, because then it creates other problems, as it often does in most cases. And then number 4, remember everything you've learned in communication. Basically assertiveness, being able to share your view, being able to tell your partner or your friend where things have gone wrong, why you don't like this, how it affects you. And for the other partner, to listen actively. Try to understand where your partner is coming from. I always say, if you understand the person exactly what he's saying, you've almost solved your problem. Because as we mentioned last time, one of the challenges is we're trying to solve something, but the other partner says, this is what you said. The other one says, no, but I didn't say that. And then that becomes an issue now, not what you were trying to solve. So remember to be assertive as well as to listen actively. Number 5, find the best time to discuss your problem. Make an appointment if necessary. Say, hey, listen, honey, can we talk about this thing? Or mention it. Don't just say, we need to talk about something. It just creates serious tension. Be able to say, listen, I want us to talk about this thing, this particular issue, but not now, because we need time to look at this. You can't be driving in a heavy traffic and then you say, sorry man, there's something that is bothering me. You're not going to get full attention. When your partner is watching soccer and the match is hot, then you say, can you please listen to me? I've got a problem. You're not going to get full attention. So find the best time to discuss. Make appointment if necessary. Number 6, ask God for wisdom. There's nothing wrong with praying before you engage your partner. Praying helps you also to see your blind spot. It helps you to see how you may have contributed to the problem. It also helps your partner to see the issue that you're going to be bringing to him or her. In other words, ask God to help you to see where you could have erred as well, but also ask God to help your partner to see what the challenge is, and ask God to help you say this in the best possible way or attitude. And lastly, don't leave issues hanging, indefinitely. If you start trying to solve something and then there's a problem, it escalates and you decide to drop it for now. Drop it for now. Don't drop it. Drop it for now. Don't leave it hanging, and find another time to deal with it. And lastly, and as a bonus, remember, when everything else fails, seek counsel. Get a third party, not necessarily your parents, because they take sides, either yours or your wife's side, the husband's side or the wife's side, depending. And friends also may not be the best unless they have the ability to be objective, but seek counsel. Remember, you do all this because you love your partner, you value your relationship. God bless you.
The Marriage and Relationship Podcast was brought to you by Dr. Papu. Dr. Papu is a devout Christian leader, an inspirational speaker, and an experienced pastor who has worked with couples for the last 35 years in his ministry. You can record and submit your questions to Dr. Papu by following this link, www.anchor.fm/Dr. J. Papu. If you'd like to have private consultations or counseling sessions, please send your email to drpapuonline@yahoo.com. That's DRPAPUONLINE@yahoo.com.